Good afternoon. It's great to be with all of you. I really look forward for this day. As we all know, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused significant disruption and hardship in nearly every aspect in our life. Even if you are poor or rich, everybody is affected. The Philippines reported its first suspected case of COVID-19 in January 2020. It involved a 5-year-old boy in Cebu who arrived in the country on January 12. For his mother, the second case was confirmed on February 2. A 44-year-old Chinese male who was the companion of the first case. His death on February 1 was the first recorded outside China. On February 5, the DOH confirmed a third case, a 60-year-old Chinese woman who flew to Cebu City from Hong Kong on January 20 by April. COVID-19 has spread to all 17 regions of the Philippines. Quarantine measurements raised throughout the country started to loosen up on June 1, with areas formerly under ECQ transitioning to a less strict quarantine. On August 2, the Philippines surpassed the 100,000 cases mark as the country continues to report around 2,000 to 3,000 cases a day. In mid-December, a new variant of SARS-CoV-2 known as lineage B was identified in the United Kingdom and is reportedly more contagious than earlier variants of the virus. But I am deeply convinced that together, in a genuine spirit of solidarity, humankind will overcome this challenge. The Philippines, with at least 45 other countries, has joined the World Health Organization's solidarity to trial study the effectivity of certain drugs in treating the COVID-19 patients. The government is doing everything we can. We are doing everything we can. So, don't rush things. We will reach to the point where we won't be afraid to get close to each other. For now, I need your cooperation in the following the safety protocols so that we will control this widely spread virus. This is for our own safety also. In terms of political killings, threats, and harassment, on June 4, OHCHR published a report that found numerous systematic human rights violations in the Philippines, among them the killing of 208 human rights defenders and activists since 2015. The government and military officials have accused Karapatan and the other groups and its network of being supporters of the insurgents in a raid tagging campaign that puts them at heightened risk of attack. That is why, as a president, I signed a new anti-terrorism law. The law contains overbroad and vague prohibition that the government can use to unjustly target critics. So, as hunger rises, Philippines authorities take aim at farmers and rural activities. Today, food prices have skyrocketed in local markets and temporary farm jobs are scarce. Our normal lives are in poverty. This is not normal for us. Food inflation rates reached 6.2% in March, and more than 1 in 5 Filipinos didn't have enough food to eat at some point in 2020. The Philippines recently reinstituted strict movement restriction in Manila and other areas as COVID-19 cases surge. Nursing fears that hunger will continue to climb. The Philippines has averaged roughly 10,000 new daily cases. So, since late March, at least double its first wave peak in 2020, our efforts to respond to this crisis are hampered by harassment and repressive measures to stop our work. During last year's hard lockdown, local government distributed food packs of canned sardines and rice. Now that we have experienced difficulty in ensuring food, it validates the need to support local food production that would ensure steady and sufficient supply of food in times of calamity. Other Filipinos have taken food production into their own hands. Urban gardening has begun to flourish in Manila, and community food sharing projects started early in the pandemic keep some poor neighborhoods from starving as they waited for government help. I observed that poverty worse, especially after the typhoons and during this pandemic. This will be a long road to recovery. The Financial Institution Strategic Transfer or FIS Act will set up mechanism allowing banks and other financial institutions to dispose of, transfer non-performing assets and loans to asset management companies similar to special purpose vehicles. The House has already given its nod to the first bill, which would assist banks and other financial institutions with offloading their debts and managing their non-performing assets affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Proposed incentives include exemption from the payment of documentary stamp tax, capital gains tax, creditable withholding income tax imposed on the transfer of buildings, and value-added tax. There is currently no Senate version of the bill. As the crisis rises, we will open all tourist spots to have livelihood but in turn with touch-free coordination of safety protocols. Brett, this is just a chapter, not the whole story. I know it's been a tough year for all of us, but still keep fighting. In the rush to get back to normal, use this time to decide which part of normal are worth rushing back to. That's all. Have a good day and thank you.